continued. Today we're talking about two things. The arc, meaning things like arcsine, arccosine, arctangent. Also, we're talking about triangles, which will be two problems that we'll see in just below. Now, write this stuff down and do these three problems. You already know how to do them, so do them. Yeah, the first one's pi over 2. Remember, it's like saying what angle when I plug in a sine will give me 1. We can only look at the right half because it's sine. And it's that point right there, that's pi over 2. So that's where pi over 2 comes from. Cosine inverse, what half do we look at? That's right, the top half. So 0 to pi. Where is the negative square root of 3 over 2? It's right there. What angle is that? 5 pi over 6. To tangent. Right half. Where is it? The square root of 3. Well, that would be like, where is the square root of 3 over 2 over 1/2. Just to remind you what we did earlier today. And that tells us we're talking about this point where the y value is square root of 3 over 2 and the x value is 1/2. So that would be at pi over 3. Okay, let's move on. So pause everything, get everything down. Move on. Okay, let's move on. Arcsine, arccosine, arctangent. Guess what they are? Nothing crazy. Arcsine is another way to write sine inverse. It means the same thing. In other words, we said it's sine inverse of 1 is pi over 2. So what is arcsine of 1? It's pi over 2. We found out that cosine inverse of a negative square root of 3 over 2 is 5 pi over 6. Arccosine means the same thing as this. So literally we just write 5 pi over 6. And guess what? Arctangent means the same thing as tangent inverse. What solution do we get there? Pi over 3. So we just write theta equals pi over 3. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Like literally, you're just supposed to get that they're the same out of it. It's another way to say it. All right, here we have it. Sine of arc cosine of 3 over 5. Cosecant of arctangent negative x over 4. Use triangles is what we should do. See if you can solve them. Okay, let's go through this methodologically, I suppose. Arc cosine, what is that? That's something, right? Like every time sine inverse, arcsine, cosine inverse, arccosine, right? All of these give me what? They give me something. They give me an angle. In other words, this stuff right here is like saying, look, there's an angle such that cosine of theta is 3/5. That's what that means. So we just have to rewrite it like that. That's what that means. There's an angle such that when I plug it into cosine, it gives me 3/5. And this is how we construct our triangle. So listen up. We just draw it. There it is. I've drawn my triangle. I write theta there. Like, or here. It doesn't matter. But now I have to remember, what is cosine? Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Now I label it. Okay, so my hypotenuse is 5. My adjacent side is the one that's next to the angle, that's 3. And then I have this other side here. We're going to call that O because we know it's the opposite. Now, how do I do the sine of this crap? Well, I've got to do sine of, wait, this gives me an angle. So it's literally doing sine of the angle that it gives me. In other words, I'm just looking here again. I'm saying, what is sine? Well, sine is what over what? Yeah, it's opposite O over hypotenuse 5. So then I just need to find what O is. How do I do that? Pythagorean theorem. But wait, this is a special type of triangle. It's a 3 blank 5 triangle. What kind is it? That's right, 3, 4, 5. So I'm done. That's it. That's the way to do it. Pause to take notes, make any commentary you need to, ask any questions you need to. Let's move on to part B. Take this down. No, but FR, have you actually taken it down? Take it down. FR. Okay, remember the first thing is to draw a triangle to represent that. In this case, I'm going to use a unit circle to help me as well. For arctangent, remember we're talking, that's like saying tangent inverse. We're talking about from here to here. right? We can only talk about those things. So where would tangent be negative? Not in the first quadrant, but here, right? Okay, so I'm going to draw my triangle using this. So I'm just going to draw this, right, and this, and this, and there's my right angle. Why am I doing this? Because there's a negative. I have to think about that. Okay. Look, can this side right here be negative? No, because x is positive here, right? X is positive, so the y is negative. So that means that this side is going to be negative. Okay, let's try to build our triangle again. I just needed that as a reference. I don't have to draw another triangle. I just ran out of room. So I'm going to say that that's theta. And it says that tangent of theta is a negative x over 4. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. Right? So here's my adjacent side, which we know has to be positive. And then here's my opposite side, right? This is opposite. So I'm going to find my hypotenuse because I'm going to do cosecant. What is cosecant? Write it down. Write it down. I hope you haven't forgotten, cosecant is the rapper's favorite, h over O. So we've got to find this side. Let's do this side real quick. To do Pythagorean, I go 4 squared plus a negative x squared equals. That gives me this hypotenuse squared. So literally, I just take the square root and I'm done. Let's simplify this further. That would be what? 16 negative x times a negative x squared. That's h. Now I've got to plug it into here, h over O. That's right. So I just write 16 plus x squared divided by, what's the opposite? Opposite is negative x. Done. We'll practice this a little bit tomorrow. You need to review your quizzes because we have things to talk about from those. Quiz 6, quiz 7, look at them. Be ready for tomorrow. Come with questions. See you then.